Okay, I'm going to do this video about, I guess you would call it like layout or animatics or stuff, or when you have a concept art or even just a background image and you want to you want to line up the camera. This is sort of slightly prompted by seeing another chap doing like a Lord of the Rings thing. He had like a generated something in Midjourney and composited it in Photoshop and then taken it into and then was doing like what I would call a layout. Although he probably took it further of the background in 3D, so converting a 2D image of a landscape into into uh, into a 3D scene. So we've got the background here. Something grabbed off the internet, and I just took. I mean, each to their own, but whenever I've done layout, I always try and arrange the horizon of the image to the ground plane, the horizon of the ground plane. As you can see, we've got the grid going off. There's one thing that's a bit annoying in Blender. Can't figure out how to change it so the grid doesn't fade away like that, because when we rotate it, you can barely see the horizon there, right? But there was two things. This is the sort of main point I wanted to make. In fact, so what I'm going to do is just create an actual plane, and we're going to make that 1,600 meters or 1.6 kilometers or approximately 1 mile. Just so I can see it clearly. We'll stick it in wireframe, and also I'm going to subdivide it 4 times, which effectively gives us 16 chunks, I think, if I remember correctly. Subdivide. I've done this a few times because it didn't work. Okay, so then apply that. Just jump into the top view, zoom out a bit. What I'm going to do is just position this grid so the front edge of it, if you like, is on the origin, and then I know that the far edge is 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile away, which means I'm going to say that the mountain is 1 mile away, and maybe 1 mile. 1 mile away, and maybe 1 kilometer wide or something. So we jump into the camera, and then we want to obviously move the camera back. I'm going to have to adjust the clipping distance. Let's put that to the camera. We want that to 10 kilometers or 10,000 meters, and we'll do the same for the viewport, just so that we make sure we see everything. So we keep zooming away. Maybe just select the grid so we can actually see the grid. So that we can see that that's the sort of front edge there, and each one of those the ground plane is 1 meter, and so approximately if we put a person there, his head or eyes should be the same height as the horizon. Which if we were a person standing, looking at a person standing, looking at the horizon, his eyes would be on the horizon, and our eyes would be on the horizon, and the camera would be at this height. You can see the kind of importance of the horizon thing. If we wanted to make it more like a drone shot, I mean, the thing would be to put a person in to get the scale. But you can see this is all real world scale here. So if I was to put 2 empties on the horizon, and we said we wanted the mountain 1 mile away, so let's just do that. I'll make 2 empties, and I'll make them quite large, maybe 100 meters or something. And then we want to push that away or go into plan view. And just zoom out a bit. It's not quite. Okay, so let's say we drag one there, and we jump into the camera view, and we just position it along, scoot it along like that, duplicate it, put that one on the other side there. This is the advantage of doing things sort of real world scale. I mean, I know it's just an image and it's not really to scale or anything, but it's useful to kind of start in reality or try and make things. Let's make the tower 500 meters high. So the 500 meters cube, and just modify it a bit. Okay, something like that. So this is looking down toward the tower. Maybe make it sort of 10 meters wide or something. Apologies about the sound. I got some of the foam things to try and take the mic noise, my wind noise, my breath. I just suddenly realised because I'm using a different sound setup, and now my my voice sounds really tinny, and also so I'll try and fix that. But anyway, let's get back to the thing. So here's the so that's going to represent the tower. So let's have a look at there. So right, we need to push the tower still quite far away. So in the Y, maybe we want to push it a kilometre away. That's coming towards us. Minus. Oops. Where's that gone? It's all the way over there. Right, okay, let's try something like that. Oh, it's the wrong axis. Okay. A bit further. So what you can do, another trick. So let's put that 8 kilometers away, 8,000 meters. There we go. That's about right. Okay. So another trick you can do that's quite useful is if you create an empty, and we'll parent that empty to the camera, and then we'll parent those empties of the where we want the mountain to be, the two empties there. So let's just create an empty here. So let's go shift. I've changed to. I sort of flip between Mac and PC quite a bit, so sometimes I get my shortcuts mixed up, which is a bit annoying. Create an empty. So we have an empty there, exactly where the camera is. And what we'll do, select that one, and then that one to be the parent, and then Control P, parent object. So now those two empties are parented to this one, I think. I've got that right. No, I haven't got that right. Oh, have I got that? Yes, I have got that right, sorry. So what I was going to do is, so now what you can do here, just so you can kind of see the lay of the land, how it all works, is if we scale that, you see the empties getting further away. Maybe, we need to adjust it even more, the view. Put 20,000. So now you can see that's a lot wider, maybe a mile wide or a mile, well, it's probably even more than that, 2 miles perhaps. But you can see it's sort of in line with the tower. But if you jump back into the camera, you see that both exactly although we've scaled them because we've scaled from the camera, in the camera plane they haven't changed at all, right? So that's quite a useful trick. You can have objects, and if you build everything to sort of real world scale, 1 unit is 1 meter, then you can do all sorts of tricks. Like it can give you clues on where, if you know the actual size of a car, and you've got the focal length correct, then you can position the car and know exactly in depth how far away it is and things like that. So there's all these useful tricks, and you can see with the tower that's a similar sort of idea in that, because we know the height of the tower is 500 meters, that it's got to be this far away if our camera lens is correct. Now this is a big if, because obviously it's just concept art, and it doesn't necessarily have. But this is looking quite good to me. I mean, in terms of you can see the perspective lines. Let me just blow up the image a bit. Oops, a bit bigger. So I make it more opaque, perhaps. So just want to try and make. It's just a shame that the Blender ground plane. If anyone knows how to get change the color of the ground plane or make it not fade away, that would be so good. In terms of for this particular use case, this what I call layout, which is sort of generally setting up the scene. I mean, I used to do that quite a bit for animators, set up the scene for them to pick up and animate. I'd match to storyboards, and also in visual effects, you receive the background image, backgrounds, the plate, the sequence or whatever, and then I'll do camera tracking. So this is why I think it's important to try and stick with realism because it can be a useful guide. Okay, I'm going to stop the video now.